kakali yajja n'abigamba omukyala bakomplaininga ku mulimu baagala mugoba oba siki yenenye naye yagamba nga ani eyenenya.
Not for sharing Jesus with a dying man, especially since they're looking to
agamba okubeera nga nsharinga Yesu Kristo n'omusajja ng'afa ku mulimu baagala mugoba si kibi. Nali ngezaako kubanga point gye mpuyagamba nga ani eyenenya. Kati gayi ali seefu mu ggulu kuba yakkiriza Kristo si kibi. N'omukazi no gwalina naye agamba okubeera nga nsharinga Yesu. Bali kye bamugamba balinga abagamba yeegaana Yesu. Twakirabako moment eno twagirabako mu Godfrey Mberi buka n'agamba nze I can't betray Christ in front of people. Tisobola kulya lukwe mu Kristo maaso ga muntu. Ekyo kyamukyayisa girlfriend mulamba ne kimukyaya abayizi bonna. Professor nga yasinga omuwarana n'ateeka risk future ye yagitekako risk. Byali mu God is not dead. Tuli ku do you believe. Kati omukyala agamba afazali biteekeko ku bbali ebya Katonda wenenye bwenenya osigaze omulimu ne ssente. Bw'oba gobeddwa mu bubi ng'ozizza omusango eri kampuni nga zino zigoba zikuggyako n'akasiimo bakolere kye baagala okole. Sigenda kikola
Elena.
Sisobola Elena. Saagala nakunnemerako. Elena n'avaawo. Elena abadde agamba kikole bukozi naye ng'omanyi. Omanyi Katonda yatugamba nti tokkirizanga okubeera ng'obuusabuusa mu kukkiriza kwo. Liga ne yajja. Banga etonya we yakanyuga ensawo okumanya ebyensi bizibu ekyaliwo. Ejjudde mu bbunda. Saagala weerabire. Essimu neevuga mukulu wa mukubira. Naye buli wakuba tamudda mukulu no yamuddamu. Oli bulungi brother. Ndi kuluma naye. Batunoonya omanyi. Manyi. Banoonyezebwa poliisi n'ekibanda sente ozirina. Wenga ofa nnyo ku bya ssente ate nga batunoonya. Yamugamba genda odde yoonoonye sente zo tujja zeetaaga. Gaye asose mulimba kumba sente azitunulidde aziraba.
Thank you.
Weebale. Nadda n'asooka kakkana. Sente azifunye. Ganda yamuga ekimanye tuzeetaaga okiwulira. Kati nno wano waaliwo Bayibuli. Maama w'abaana abaana mugezi. Ku bbali mu loogi gy'apangisiza yasooka n'abikkula mpola. Tunuulira. Jo yamugamba ebiseera bisinga ye abeerawo ng'akulinze. Akimanyi ensi eba ekubonyaabonya naye nga ye ali ku bbali akulaba akulinze. Bw'osaba lumu eddako ono ow'olubuto ate gy'ali. Naye nga naye byalowooza tomonita katono. Alina ebigambo byajjukira emabega abantu be yayombanga nabo. Bamugamba ajjemu olubuto yagamba sisobola kikola. Ne bamubuuza kati omwami aliwa. Mukadde ga ntulengera atadde ku bbali emidaali gyonna munyenye medo ezigabwa ng'obadde komando omulungi. Yayina esatu n'agattako ogwokuna ogwa Kristo omusalaba. Kwe yafiira ng'agambye byonna mbirесaawo. Bw'oligukkirizanga oliba owonye. Waliwo kasinema ke bayita Malcolm X. Oli jama yali awakanya nga yagamba kimu Allah yasinga. Ndowooza mwakalaba Malcolm X ali kasufu nnyo. Nako kaddiini. Omukyala yagamba emusimanya biki yajja eno. Balina gye beebakanga. Naye nga banange laba omwana anyirira n'omukyala anyirira. basula mu bifo ebisulamu bamasiikini. Mwana yatunulira namukadde, waaye kankyuke ntunulire mange, oba oli ayinza okunkanulira amaaso ebizibu byonna byalina ne bidda ku nze. Tebereza kyova olaba nabagamba abavubuka mwetegekere, zaala omwana ng'omanyi ne bonaaba otomeddwa omwana tagenda kusula ku bbala. Kati Guy ayagala kwetta nga intention gyabadde nayo ku ntandikwa, kyokka ne ku bbali ono omukyala gwe bagana okukima mu ddwaliro naye ayagala kwekanyuga. Bw'akyuka yatunulira omusajja, bonna balina kirowoozo kye kimu kyakwejjawo. Owaye midaali atadde wali motoka zisala. Sirowooza nti nandyagadde ebintu by'okummanyira okunsumbuwa. Bwe mba njagala kwetta saagala muntu nanjogerera nakunjogeza yadde n'ekigambo n'ekimu.
For some reason I expect a little more privacy.
Kwegamba ku nsonga ezimu mba njagala mbeere nga ndi private.
Me too.
Nange ekyo ekindeese wano balimba baagala kwetta.
You want to grab a cup of coffee?
Kayadi wandyagadde okunywa akakopo akaawa, esente alina, abadde ayagala okwetta ayagala gulya kaddeemu kyayi. Ng'osaziza mu pulogulaamu z'okwejjawo.
Carlos.
Gwani nze Carlos.
Why didn't you do it? You know,
It?
Kali Carlos amugambye ekyabadde agenda okukola amazima ku bbali. Kiki otiddemu butya? You mean obadde afraid?
I don't know. I think I'm still in the beginning stages of feeling sorry for myself.
Omanyi kale kwegamba n'emabega nali nakigezaako dda naye ambulensi ziba zinnyamba. Kati mbuye yatuukako mu stage y'okuba nga yeesaasira. Omanyi omuntu nga olina ekigendererwa ky'okwetta weeraba nga obonyeebonye nnyo, bakuvumye nnyo obulalu obubbi noga akanete kampona ate waliyo omulambo ogubeera omulalu tegubeerayo.
So Lena, it's my sister.
Kati yamugamba ku sister we.
I don't think she's like half saved or 5'8".
Naye kale kwegamba ye yagumpadde omanyi kale yalimu embeera z'ekirokole.
It's funny is that
Kiri fane si bwe kiri.
what kept me on that bridge.
Bwe nkulabye ku bbali ku bridge
And then I met you.
ne bwe nkusisinkanye.
You're not God, are you?
No. If I was, I would change a lot of things.
Singa mbadde nandibadde nkyusa bingi wuliriza.
Like
Wowe obadde Katonda.
puppies forever. Everybody would have somebody.
Manyi omuntu aba ayagala abe nga alina omuntu amubeererawo. Kiringa bw'olaba obubwa obuto obw'embwa.
Just stuff like that.
Bali mu kwebuuza singa obadde Katonda wandibadde okyusa ki?
What about you?
Ate gwe wandikyusiza ki?
Would you change if you were God?
If you are God wandikyusiza ki?
No more war.
Nandigambe teri vita. No more war.
No more killing.
No more killings.
That's really heavy.
Ekyo mu butuufu nga kizitowa okubeera ng'oyimiriza kuba mu butuufu entalo.
Talking about dads not leaving their kids.
Omanyi bagamba Katonda alina ensi gy'atutegekera. Era buli afa kimanye aba talina kubeera mu eyo ensi. Abasinga ku ffe tetujja bbaayo mu eyo ensi. Naye bw'oba ozadde olese omwana tomanyi oba muzzukulu wa muzzukulu wo alibeerayo mu eyo ensi. Ligani ali mu kusaba, ali mu kusoma Bayibuli mpola. Ne bannange ono Fara yafaananye Ligani. Oba Luganda. Ligani olina muganda we Iranda ne Amerika nga kimanyi. Kahali ow'olubuto ku makya omukyala ono yajja.
Hi,
Ye mukyala w'olijja ma eyayamba pastor.
I'm Matthew's wife.
Yenze muka Matayo.
I'm the one who turned you away the other night. Look, it's not right that you should be staying here alone.
Yagamba tekiri bulungi kuba nti obeera wano wekka.
I'm really sorry.
Naye kale nze yagaana era ku lwekyo nsonyiwa. Ye yaleeta ebbuba fitina. Mwana w'abandi Ligani ng'afuluma n'ansawo ya ssente.
Okay, so we have one keynote, and that will be from a good friend, somebody in the industry, Edgar Kasenene, who is going to speak to us on the topic that I did share with you, and then going to a panel, and that will lead us to one, and then between 1 and 2 we'll do the wrap up and go for lunch, and after that you should be free to explore, take a walk, rest, because I know later in the evening, I'm pretty sure we all signed up to go to Ndere Center for the culture night at 4 p.m., which is happening at 4 p.m. So we want to give you time to put your feet in the water. But I'm told yesterday it was a great experience on the boat cruise. Was it? It was? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Friends, the one thing that I take away and reflect on deeply is that even from the conversation that has happened there, it is important for us to be very intentional as IT people to start bringing into our rooms people that are not in our domain. Because so many times we talk to ourselves. So many times we do an amazing job talking to ourselves. And I think going forward, we need to be as intentional as possible to let people know that we are not aliens. We are not falling from the sky. And so the things that we do and are so passionate about are things that will make us relevant to them. But to make them appreciate that we are relevant is by us intentionally bringing them closer to us. So without wasting more time, allow me, and I want to introduce him in terms of reading his bio. But you'll probably get to feel his passion and energy when he comes onto the stage. And that is a good friend, a brother of mine, Edgar Kasenene. Allow me to invite you to come and speak to us. We'll have about 30 minutes. We'll give you a cue at 15. And then we'll have a panel conversation shortly after your keynote. I don't know that you want to use this.
Yes, I prefer that.
Okay. Or you want that, whichever. Okay.
Good morning, guys. How are you? I actually like the fact that you started there. I was a bit confused. I haven't been here the last 3 days. So I got here and there were 2 conferences. I'm like, why do IT people have a conference when marketeers are having a conference? Because they will have no attention, right? But then I was happy that the event started there because I think that the conversations that were happening up there by my friend James, and I really wish we should have continued the whole day, right? Because today I'm not going to come and talk to you guys about tech, right? I'm not that smart. I mean, my background is engineering, right? But the last time I did anything technical was in 2001 in MTN. That time when value-added services was about SMS and USSD, and those things were so cool, right? So that's the last time I did anything technical. So I'm going to talk to you guys about user experience, and I'll give context to that. Michael has cut my time, which is really, really, really bad because we have quite intense things to cover, but I must put a stopwatch because I know myself, I get very passionate. I will lose track of the world, of where I am. Yeah, I might not see them. I'm joking. I'll put a stopwatch here because I would like this to be a conversation because some of the things I'm going to share are going to be quite intense. And they're intense for effect. So my background was telecoms. I spent a lot of time in Ericsson. My last role was head of innovation, where I completely failed to innovate, and I'll talk about that. But I think that last role also gave me perspective and context of the stuff that inspired what I'd like to talk about. And so the conversation, I really think, should be about impact and value, right? And for me, I think one of the biggest things that shifted how I think quite profoundly in 2018 was the internet, right? Not that the internet started in 2018, but coming out of innovation, it became very clear that we're underestimating the conversation of value, impact, innovation in context of a world that has made all of us completely ubiquitous, right? So even still, and please, Mr. President, I don't want us to stop having ICT conferences, but even the fact that we still have ICT conferences and marketing conferences is a clear realization that we haven't yet fully embraced an open world, right? And I'll touch on that a little bit, right? And I think what was quite fascinating for me is that the internet actually turned out, from a user perspective and individual growth perspective, it fundamentally shifted the entire world, right? So it's a good thing we're down here, and I can use the example I always like to use to start, and it's getting old, but it's a way to get you to think, right? Who can tell me the headline of New Vision? I met one of the marketers there. I spent 1.5 years with them, rather unsuccessfully. That's for another day. But who can tell me the headline of New Vision today? Vision Group. New Vision. Not you. But why can you be in a room full of a lot of smart people? And I always forget, this is an African ICT conference, not a Ugandan one, right? So, but still, even if it was not African. Why do I ask that question? And I'm going to unpack that question in 3 levels, right? Media. Why is media still an industry, right? You don't buy newspapers. So you couldn't tell me, imagine, so let's unpack it in a different way. If I made you the CEO of New Vision, what's your business strategy? Not Elizabeth. What's your business strategy? Now the room is very quiet, right? News, the internet. What did the internet do, right? Our news, our content is everywhere, right? So when a news story breaks, you're not waiting for a publication. Somebody talked about broadcast. We want to talk about broadcast. And I'm just building this towards, let's think about value, right? Even if you went digital, because that's the new buzzword, right? Michael talked about it, right? Let's go digital, right? And they have an app, and I'm proud to say I worked on the product. I'm embarrassed that we didn't really go where I wanted us to go. Even if we went digital, how many of you actually have the Vision Group digital experience, as it was called? I really didn't like that name. So you can't sell content. Nobody buys newspapers. You can't go digital because people are not going to subscribe to your app. So then what do? Why is the room quiet? You're supposed to be smart people, right? If you passed engineering, you're smart, yes. What do you do, right?
I know obviously people would say I'll go online and maybe introduce online newspaper. By the way, I come from a background of print newspaper.
Yeah.
I worked for about 19 years.
Yeah.
So by the time I was reading, yes, we introduced an online paper. But when we did the research, there was still a good number of, especially old fellas, who refused to say we can never dump the print newspaper.
But I like that comment. And the point around this, and we're going to talk about an open world, is that the problem is not technology, it's our mindset. The world moved. You don't even hate New Vision. You don't wake up, you don't think about them, they're not even in your life. Your world completely moved. So what is your relevance as value in their lives? We didn't have a lot of time today because we can't talk about all the aspects of marketing. There is no domain or industry today that is in a boundary where they can still control the user. So what happens when you're building in such industries? Because I just asked you, you're really smart people, and you're quiet, but there's a whole industry, and I work close to them, right? There are people who are still there, I won't mention names, today who will wake up in the morning and say, we need to promote the newspaper. We just asked the question, nobody in this room said that they read it. Why would you do that? Why? You don't think because we were not trained to think about user behavior, we're trained to think about industry, domain, product. And those of us who are in innovation, it hit us so bloody hard that this guy in this internet world has completely left the building. You cannot lock him in. And we don't have time to talk about banking models, telco models, right? But the biggest challenge in modern society is openness. How do we talk about open world? Open